Welcome to channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now, despite that, there has not been much of visa updates recently. However, the news in regards to the war going on has been exploded and obviously gone everywhere, left, right, center, north and south. So that obviously will have an impact and affect the potential immigration policy. Not saying that the migration review report done in the by the end of April 2023 will not be implemented, but it will definitely have an effect. What sort of effect? Well, simply will be the delay will obviously be there and expected as the international event take place at the center. Now, what are we going to talk about today? Obviously, you click in the video. I wanted to talk a little bit about the post-pandemic era at the time that we are in now. It's still a good timing to build business in Australia. Now, obviously, not everybody's interest is in building a business, but it's well, not a habit, but traditionally, a lot of migrants, especially skilled migrants, when they migrate to new places or settle into a new country, one thing that they do is they wanted to build a business within their community. Now, is this still good timing? You think about restaurants, small businesses, perhaps an IT business. There's a lot of migrants love to build business when they settle into a new location, new country, or new region. Is it still good timing now, in a post-pandemic time, a period of time, that you build a business? Well, for the skilled migrants, obviously, but you really need to reconsider more. As a new era has already landed. Now, first of all, I wanted to show you that the recent news. Obviously, you probably has been bombarded with all the news in regards to what's happening in Israel and Gaza. Now, the this is on the 19th of October, so today is the 21st, so 2 days ago. The secretaries of the states from United States, obviously we're not dealing with the U.S. visa, but Anthony Blinken had actually said that there's a caution worldwide alert for all the Americans traveling around the world. Now, obviously, why am I showing you this news? I'm telling you, it's a fact that a chaotic world is becoming more and more real in our lifetime, and obviously affecting whatever the decision that you're going to make every day, now and then. So that obviously would trigger I'm not gonna go into the debate on the religious things, but obviously there are religious and also the groups going worldwide, Europe, Australia as well, US. Now, we don't know how long this will actually go for. Now, what you are reading, seeing, experiencing perhaps will obviously affect the visa policies nowadays. For sure, 100% sure. Now, the first instance will be delay of processing visa. Now, secondly, it will also affect on the new policies, whether they're going to implement it or not, or perhaps introduce other conditions or whatever that is. That will all come in hand, and in our near future we also see what's happening within the politics of Australia, where within the current governing party, the Labour Party, there is a little bit of a split on the decision made for the current condition in Israel. Not to talk about the Ukraine and Russian war is still going on, and the unsettlement of the Middle East. So this will obviously affect to our daily lives. Now that will also affect your decision on whether or not you want to build perhaps or establish a business in Australia. Now we need to understand that I still get a little inquiry. There are people still looking into 1AA visa, which is the business innovation and investment visa. They have put a pause on that one. Don't know when they will put it back. So obviously if you're looking to be a little bit more entrepreneurial and want to build business in Australia, I'm sorry, no luck. There's no visa category allows anyone who has that entrepreneurship and to build business in Australia. There's no luck there. Obviously there's if you have followed my channel long enough, there is a 491 subclass 491 for the skilled migrant to actually build business. Previously it started in where did they start? Tasmania, South Australia, and also in Queensland. I think there was one for Canberra, but currently there's only Queensland opened up, but I haven't really heard anyone succeeded since they have opened up with a new quota. So again, you can see establishing and building business through a visa pathway, very, very slim, almost zero nowadays. Now, if we step back, even if you successful migrate into Australia, should you really consider build business in Australia? Let's have a look further on. So we have talked about the issue, the global issue that's affecting Australia. That will also affect what? The index of food prices, commodity prices, everyday living stuff, that will all be affected. We just haven't seen it yet. I think it will come within the next couple weeks, perhaps before Christmas. Let's see how the world, the population go through Christmas this year. Whether it was a good one, I don't think it's gonna be, but see what happens. So alright, there's also news talking about in South Australia. So South Australia has been a success as Australia has been promoted as a destination for regional development, but due to all the issues, the incentive of skilled migrant to work in regional South Australia acts in migration program shake. And that is not just for South Australia. What about Northern Territory? What about Tasmania? What about all the regional area in Western Australia, Queensland, Victoria? So it's all happening now. This obviously affected firstly by the so-called on the media, the opposition parties all talking about all the housing crisis. So the current government will thought to put a pause on that one. So there has been a lot of state premier came out basically complaining about they cut about 70% of the state nomination. But again, it's happening now. On top of this, all the global issue, the war in Eastern Europe, and the war broke out in Middle East and the North Africa. That's where the area is. This will all affect your and I's decision to actually affect the visa, and also affect your decision to actually establish perhaps a business in Australia. Now, all of this will affect to the inflation issue. Now, despite the inflation issue in Australia is not as bad as in North America and also in Europe. I heard that in UK is really bad. But you got to think about this. If you wanted to build business, not just thinking about the revenue, but you need to consider also the expenditure as well. So the expenditure has already risen. Now, 3 years ago, it may cost you 50 cents. Now it's costing you 60 or 70 cents. That is a lot to be considered, especially if you wanted to raise up your sales price. You probably get less sales as well. So all of this added up, and also remember they talked about employment sponsored visa. It's a good thing that we pull everybody's salary up, but it's also not a good thing if you consider to be a businessman, especially want to start a business in Australia. If you want a skilled worker from overseas, previously you only required to be at the minimum of $53,900. Now it's bumped up to $70,000. That's a lot more cost for you to consider to get a skilled worker. Well, you can say, look, we don't need to get an overseas skilled worker. Yeah, sure. Well, the reason they pull the standard up is also putting the standard up for the local workers' salary as well. So you can see the cost of hiring is also increasing as well. Has the sales number increased as much as the cost of living and also expenditure? I don't think so. It hasn't really been matched up yet. So for 2023 and 24 and onwards for short term, honestly, I don't think building a business or starting a business in Australia, especially if you're just a new migrant in Australia, would be a good idea. It will be so risky. You enter yourself in, obviously government will love to see you building business because you're gonna pay taxes, okay? But adding up all this elements of the global issues, the war going on, the inflations, the rise of the employee costs, it's gonna be very, very hard unless you're very, very confident whatever the business that you're entering in is gonna make you money. Otherwise, the global market will actually, well, not kill you, but will diminish the capacity for you to actually make money. However, there's one thing that you may still consider despite of the housing crisis. The housing crisis is based on the issue that the rise of the rental costs and the rise of the standard of purchasing power on the real estate properties, but it also show us that the strong market on the real estate. So the one thing that you can consider to do, which I recommend people to do, perhaps if you do have money to throw into a business, why not consider throw the money into investing real estate in Australia? Because it seems to be Australia is still good and strong on the real estate market. Consider comparing against the North America and also the Europe issue. The Australians housing market is still very strong because the number of people wanted to continue to go into Australia is still increasing, and that also getting that status of strong market for the real estate property there. So I think that's the only thing that I really recommend you to take action on. Other than that, building a business in Australia in 2023 and onward into 24, wow, it's gonna be too risky. Anyway, should you have more question or query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.